In the news tonight, Barbados has its first Early Childhood Development Center of Excellence. Former Government Minister Lieutenant Colonel the Most Honourable Jeffrey Bostic nominated to be the next president. Faster, more customer-focused service promised as CAIPO transitions to Business Barbados. And in sports, Sada misses out on the 400 final at the World Championships.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, the Maria Holder Nursery School, Gall Hill, created history today by becoming the first Early Childhood Development Center of Excellence. Education authorities gathered at the Christchurch-based institution to launch the new Center of Excellence, which will eventually be replicated across the island as part of the Ministry of Education's transformation agenda. Anesta Henry has that story.
A proud moment for Barbados. That's how Minister of Educational Transformation Chad Blackman describes the Maria Holder Nursery School at Gall Hill, Christchurch, becoming the first Early Childhood Development Center of Excellence. He says this project will be the benchmark of education excellence in Barbados.
And what does that mean for the country? Early childhood education is not just about having your children come, as we call it, for daycare. The science has shown that children between the ages of 3 and 5, those years are the formative years in which once they can learn new concepts and new exciting things, that goes on for the rest of their life in terms of development and the prospects for development. And therefore, the country can be happy this morning that we've now taken that bold decision.
Minister Blackman says that the question now is how do the authorities ensure this Center of Excellence is replicated across the country?
Not just at this level, but the primary level, the secondary level. And what is the purpose of that? If we're to be number one in the world, every aspect of the education system in Barbados has to be benchmarked with excellence. So therefore, the ministry will be focusing significantly on ensuring that we can now put everything through a rigor to stand scrutiny anywhere in the world.
This nursery will be a lab school where those enrolled at Erdiston Teachers Training College will visit to observe best practices.
And the findings that we get from this lab school will inform how we roll out across the entire education system when it comes to pre-primary education.
For the nursery school to become a center of excellence, the teaching staff went through extensive training between 2022 and 2023 in the area of play-based approaches. Additionally, there has been investment in boosting the physical resources.
If you look at the grounds, you will realize that there is you have the horses, the areas for children to play. There are also learning corners where the children can go and interact with different materials. They have a literacy corner, they have a theater corner, different kinds of corners.
Specially invited guests, including principals and other stakeholders, were treated to a special performance from the little ones at the nursery school. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Former Minister of Health and Wellness, Lieutenant Colonel the Most Honourable Jeffrey Bostic, has been nominated to be the next President of Barbados. The announcement was made by Deputy Speaker of the House, Neil Rowe, during a sitting of the Lower House today.
Section 32(1) of the Constitution of Barbados provides for the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition to jointly nominate a person to be elected as President of Barbados. I have the honor to inform you that Lieutenant Colonel the Most Honourable Jeffrey Davison Bostic, FB, in VO, has assented to the proposal to be nominated as President and Head of State of Barbados by myself as Prime Minister and by the Leader of Opposition, the Honourable Ralph Thorne, KC MP. I therefore officially advise you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, of the jointly nomination of Lieutenant Colonel the Most Honourable Jeffrey Davison Bostic, FB, NVO, by the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition in accordance with Section 32(1) and 2 of the Constitution of Barbados.
Lieutenant Colonel Bostic represented the constituency of the city of Bridgetown twice under the Barbados Labour Party. He was the Minister of Health who steered the country through the challenging times of the COVID-19 pandemic. He subsequently penned a book titled No Retreat, No Surrender, chronicling the journey through the pandemic, the aftermath of a freak storm, as well as the impact of Hurricane Elsa and the eruption of the Soufriere volcano in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Well, staying in the lower house, the Tourist Accommodation Bill 2025 was debated today. It requires all short-term rental operators, such as Airbnb, to be licensed, inspected and registered with stiff fines for non-compliance. It also mandates universal accessibility in accommodations, giving existing ones 5 years to comply or seek exemptions. Additionally, the bill extends licenses to 2 years and sets comprehensive standards, including emergency and compliant procedures. Tourism Minister Ian Gooding-Edgell shared some of the details while leading off the debate.
If persons are going to be offering vacation rental accommodation, that is absolutely necessary that they license. So this section makes it an offense to operate, advertise short-term rental accommodation without being registered, inspected, and licensed. And Mr. Speaker, when we look at it, Clause 4.3 of the bill, it makes it clear that if a person contravenes this process, that the person is guilty of an offense and liable on conviction and summary conviction to a fine of $250,000.
In his contribution, opposition leader Ralph Thorne urged government to give equal concessions to the new and emerging sector in the tourism industry. He says hotels and villas are given special treatment that should be extended to Airbnbs.
I don't know why a shop in My Lord's Hill or on Lodge Road that hosts tourists cannot equally get concessions. I don't know why. I don't know why Barbadians sit and accept this discriminatory treatment as if it is the natural order of things. And we are going to urge the government to make that new thrust towards community tourism.
However, Senior Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Kerry Simmons, says concessions are already offered to those in the accommodation sector. He says almost every year for the past 7 years, Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley has raised the threshold for land taxes in the country.
When we are talking about these Airbnbs, in many instances we are talking about somebody's private property on which they are entitled or expected to pay land tax. And Mr. Speaker, sir, if it is that the land tax threshold is raised, then, sir, it is that they are getting, in fact, the concessionary benefit. Because you are charging a rent for a property, you've got people living in the property, but the government tells you, pay less land tax. Pay less land tax. We came into government and land tax rates were at $150,000 to start with. That was the entry threshold. It is all up around $450,000 today, Mr. Speaker, sir. What madness am I hearing?
The Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Property Office, better known as CAIPO, has officially completed its transition to Business Barbados. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Energy and Business, Kevin Hunt, told a town hall meeting the change is more than just a new name. Deanza Roberts attended that meeting and files this report.
Business Barbados is promising faster, more customer-focused service as it rebrands from CAIPO. Permanent Secretary Kevin Hunt says the agency is overhauling its processes, staff structure, and technology.
A transformation and a transition is not an easy task, and it is never an easy task. Not only is it not an easy task, it is not an immediate task, and it's not a short task. It is one that if we want to do it completely, if we want to do it correctly, if we want to do it for longevity, it must take time. But we are equally aware that because of all of the problems that have stranglehold us for the last few years, we may not have as much time as we think. And so we're caught between building something new while fixing an existing flying plane. And that takes resources, it takes skill, it takes strategy, and it takes people with a will to make that happen.
The office recorded more than 1,500 walk-in customers in August, up from July, while business names registrations also increased. But Mr. Hunt admits a backlog remains, largely due to an outdated digital system.
We know that we have a very large part in terms of our digital system. We know that the digital system is causing problems for you, and if it's causing problems for you, it's causing problems for the staff. If it's causing problems for the staff, it's causing problems for me. If it's causing problems for me, it's causing problems for the minister, and on it goes. So we are all on the same coin, just different sides, and we need to make sure that that is rectified. That has contributed in a large measure to the backlog that exists relative to business names and other processes. And we want you to know that we are taking steps to deal with it. I have to phrase it the way taking steps because much of it we are not at liberty to speak about because of the nature of where things are at.
He also reveals that a new headquarters is expected to house Business Barbados since they are aiming at improving customer flow.
You saw some minor changes taking place in July 2025, but those changes were hampered by the limitation of size in our existing location. But with that, we want to let you know that by the end of Q1 2026, Business Barbados will be in a new location.
Officials are calling on the private sector to help test the upgraded platform to ensure a smoother business registration process. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
And coming up on Newsnight, the Chief Justice calls for a major change. We'll tell you all about that after the break. Barbados' top judge is calling for a major shift, one that could enhance the independence of the courts. Chief Justice Leslie Haynes says it is time that an Office of the Judiciary is created, removing financial and administrative control from the Attorney General. Deanza Roberts has those details.
The Chief Justice's call was made at the opening of the 2025-26 legal year, where he addressed a myriad of changes that need to come on stream. He says modern judiciaries require their own professional administration to safeguard the separation of powers. The proposal follows the first ever meeting between CARICOM heads of government and heads of judiciary. A dialogue, he says, must continue annually to protect judicial independence.
The next step should be the preparation of a cabinet paper, and if approved by cabinet, will lead to the enactment of legislation necessary to effect the change and will lead to the creation of the Office of the Judiciary.
While backlogs and technology upgrades remain priorities, Chief Justice Haynes stressed the need to address undelivered decisions by High Court judges and unassigned matters.
I can say that these judgments are being delivered, perhaps not as fast and as efficiently as I would like, but the numbers are being reduced. Unassigned matters. This is a particular problem. Matters that seem to have fallen off of the court list for one reason or another. During the course of the last year, I have reassigned well over 150 matters to judges of the High Court and to the Master. I cannot say that they are at an end because we really do not know the extent of the problem. But what I can say is that as the files are delivered to my office, they are reassigned.
He said the way of doing a number of things will change. Among them is child support payments, which he says will be able to be paid to any court.
The days of persons showing up in one court whilst hiding from another are coming to an end. The days of persons having criminal records that a magistrate cannot access from the bench are coming to an end. Equally, we will eventually move to a point where those who still pay maintenance in person will be able to do so at any court. The days of parents being unable to find out or ascertain the monies that are there for their children will also be coming to an end.
The Chief Justice wants a court system strong enough to stand on its own and modern enough to serve a change in Barbados. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Well, government is backing the Chief Justice's push to reduce case backlogs and digitize court records. Home Affairs Minister Wilfred Abrams says Barbados must guarantee timely trials and modern record keeping. Let's hear again from Deanza Roberts.
While the Chief Justice noted progress in tackling the heavy caseload, Minister Abrams cautioned that more work lies ahead.
We've seen the backlog coming down, but it is a significant backlog. And while the Chief Justice has pointed to some improvements made and some victories won, right, we're not yet out of the woods on that. And it has to be a concerted effort by all the players involved. So the new initiative in relation to the certainty of trial dates is a good one, because quite frankly, unless things actually do come off, then all we can be able to pick at is the ones that can be mitigated or negotiated or settled. But for those, you will always have some matters that are incapable of being settled, where somebody wants their day in court. For those who want their day in court, or for those matters that require nothing less than a day in court, then there must be certainty and they must be able to have their day in court and a judgment be given and a judgment rendered.
He says government has been funding upgrades and will continue to invest once requests are justified.
Everything the police has asked for recently, everything the judicial system has asked for recently, right, they've gotten from the government. We've put our money where our mouth is. We've stepped up to say, yes, we accept that things don't happen by serendipity, that you have to invest money and upgrade our systems in order to get the results that you want. So I don't see this as being any different. Once the judicial system justifies what it's asking for, I don't see the government saying to it no, especially when there are clear reasons for developing infrastructure, there are clear reasons for technological advancement, and at the end of the day is to produce the most efficient justice system possible. Then yes, once that can be justified and the money can be seen to be going towards something better, then I don't see that they're going to have a problem.
The minister says these initiatives, certainty of trial dates and a paperless system, are essential to delivering an efficient, modern justice system. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Sports time now. Damien Best joins us live in studio with the details. Good evening, Damien.
Yeah, good evening to you, Lisa. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. Well, top Barbadian quarter miler Shadia Williams has fallen short of qualifying for the women's 400-meter final at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Competing in semi-final number 1 this morning, Barbados time, Williams was 4th in a season's best of 50.39 seconds. That clocking put her as the 13th fastest overall from the semis, and it didn't allow her to advance as one of the fastest non-automatic qualifiers for the final. There's one last medal hope for Barbados. Tia Adana Bell is in tomorrow's semi-finals of the women's 400-meter hurdles. Bell will be in semi-final 2 running in lane number 2 at 8:11 a.m. Barbados time. West Indies have made 3 changes from the Test squad, which recently faced Australia. They've recalled batters Tagenarine Chandapal and Alec Athanaze, along with a maiden call-up for left-arm spinner Carrie Pierre for the 2 Test series against India starting October 2nd. Chandapal and Athanaze have been included to bolster the top order batting, while Pierre has been included as the second specialist spinner in the squad after strong performances in the West Indies Championship. The selection group has also opted to rest spinner Gurukesh Moti for the red ball series given the demands of the upcoming limited overs schedule. Well, this includes the ICC T20 World Cup in February and March of next year. So the West Indies squad reads Captain Roston Chase, his deputy Jamel Warrican, Kevlon Anderson, Athanaze, John Campbell, Chandapal, Justin Graves, Shea Hope, Tevin Imlak, Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Anderson Phillip, Pierre, and Jaden Seals. The team departs the Caribbean on September 22nd and is set to arrive in Ahmedabad on September 24th for the series, which will mark the side's second assignment in the new ICC World Test Championship cycle and their first away series. The first test is set for October 2nd to 6th and the second from October 10th to 14th.
The Business Report, brought to you by the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, a department of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, supporting young entrepreneurs from idea to enterprise.
The onward march of time and the rapid integration of AI into mainstream society are propelling the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme to new heights. Fresh from the 46th Small Business Development Center Conference in Orlando, where AI took center stage among participants, YES officials share their insight on the future of the program. On tonight's YES Business Report, Acting Manager Ryan Mosley brings us an exclusive update, as Trevor Thorpe tells us.
The conference, titled The Future of Work, marked the third time Barbados participated in this significant business event organized by the Small Business Development Center, the SBDC. Having attended, YES Acting Manager Ryan Mosley returned with this message: get on board or be left behind, emphasizing the importance of embracing change and innovation in the evolving business landscape.
There's a fear that AI will replace humans, but the trending thought is that persons who utilize AI have the advantage, and they would be in a better position to replace those who do not use AI as a tool to assist and to enhance the delivery of services. So overall, the theme was almost AI 2.0, and a heavy emphasis was on the emergence of artificial intelligence and the wide spectrum of use that can be incurred when these tools are used in the enhancement of services to the MSME sector.
In an impassioned speech, he stressed that to truly enhance the scheme, they must keep pace with the times.
We cannot fear AI, so the prevailing sentiment is that we must embrace AI, we must use the components of AI to enhance. We must expose all of our clients to the importance of AI. It can help them in enhancing their own marketability. So the onus is on YES to now train our clients to embrace and to fully utilize the AI tools in all aspects of their work.
He said the current YES program is in its closing stages and a new syllabus is being finalized for the incoming cohorts.
AI will become a critical part of our programming, both for in terms of teaching AI, teaching how to utilize the tools, and encouraging clients to embrace the tools to enhance their product delivery, their product diversification, doing better research, knowing what is happening on a global stage so that they can be even competitive within our local space, so that when they're make the move to expand and to go regional and global, that they would be aware of the standards needed to compete on a global stage.
Mr. Mosley confirmed that the YES program will be moved to the next level, supported by multiple stakeholders for the new term and beyond. Trevor Thorpe for the YES Business Report.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Let's head back over to the sports studio now for Damien at the second half in sports. Good evening, Damien.
Yeah, thanks again, Lisa. Well, the men's top seed and defending champion Mark Venom Griffith is one of the players slated to compete in tomorrow's semi-final of the Barbados Road Tennis Open. He won in straight games when the quarterfinals were contested at Gall Hill, St. John.
Some men's action, the defending champion Mark Venom Griffith versus Akeem Murrell. In black, Griffith working the angle superbly. Murrell knew this was also a war of concentration, case in point, answering every question Griffith asked of him, from backarm to forearm, until Griffith blinks first. The problem was Murrell seemed hamstrung when going for power, and that is 3 points. Griffith speeding to a first game win, 21-14, and the second was just as convincing. Fit as a fiddle, Griffith marching into the semis, 21-14, 21-10. A little taste of the other two men's matchups. Dario Hines showing some aggression against Davian Taylor. So two equally aggressive competitors, sweeping forearm, eye candy. Taylor hit high gear, shattering the speed barrier on multiple occasions. Blink and you miss it. No trouble then. Taylor in his element, winning the first 21-11. Facing elimination, Hines initiated a slight comeback. Scores locked at 17-all. What a glorious forearm cross court. The crowd in sync with the action. But the fire was too intense from Taylor, aka Force Right. The celebration said it all. Taylor storms into the semifinals, 21-11, 21-17. The final match on the night went to a third and decisive game after Shaquem Nurse in the green trunks won the opener 21-13, and Darius Gaskin hit back to claim the second 21-14. In the third, it was neck and neck down the stretch, with every error adding to the intensity. Nurse had the lead at 19-18, but an error made it 19-all before Gaskin was finally sent packing. Match point. Gaskin too long. Nurse moving into the semis with a workmanlike 21-13, 14-21, 21-19 victory over Darius Gaskin.
Well, young Barbadian jockey Zarel Ford delivered a standout performance last Sunday to guide Jaggers Got a Gun to victory at the Woodbine racetrack in Canada. Ford's win came in the 10th and final race, and on a race day when none of the Barbadian jockeys, including the renowned Patrick Husbands, were able to secure any of the major races.
Off they run, and a terrific start. Got Me Good won the break narrowly from Aristotle. Captivating Name on the inside, speeds to the front. And going to second, Aristotle. Private Label settling fourth with Got Me Good on the outside, handy in third. 2 lengths away came Maldini, Yorkton's Honour. Racing wider, Lonnie's Gamble, and the widest there, Mohayman Diamond out the stretch. And over on the inside, Jaggers Got a Gun, second last, and the trailer Times a Breeze. Captivating Name shows the way. Out in the lead by a length. Coming fast, Got Me Good. Doesn't want this leader to rest and goes up to take over. Pushing in the centre, Aristotle, and 2 to Private Label. Maldini is handy from Yorkton's Honour, and Mohayman Diamond the widest. Lonnie's Gamble back on the inside. A 4-length gap, Times a Breeze has gone past Jaggers Got a Gun early. 5/8 to run, and Got Me Good the leader. Out in front by 2 lengths to Captivating Name, Aristotle, Maldini, Mohayman Diamond. Private Label got back in the field, and up the inside goes Lonnie's Gamble as they bunch after this leader who's still going well, Got Me Good. Well behind them, Yorkton's Honour's third last. Taking off his Times a Breeze around the outside, and last Jaggers Got a Gun. Inside the 3.5, it's Got Me Good, a half to Aristotle, and going forward Maldini and Mohayman Diamond. Private Label, who took a bit of a breather's, coming after the pack. On the inside, Captivating Name, 2.5 to Lonnie's Gamble, and then Times a Breeze. It's Aristotle narrowly from Maldini and Mohayman Diamond. Private Label's up behind them. Got Me Good under pressure, and then came Lonnie's Gamble. Private Label coming in the stretch. Aristotle by a length. Private Label's in the clear. Mohayman Diamond's there. Private Label the danger, ranges up to Aristotle. Jaggers Got a Gun from the back, and Private Label raced away. Private Label taken on. Jaggers Got a Gun is flying home. Jaggers Got the Gun to rifle by, and Jaggers Got a Gun the winner from Private Label and Aristotle.
And that's news for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.